Katrina Davis to the Village Hour. So, Katrina, how are you?
I am great, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you for this interview and thank you for your time.
Oh, no problem. No problem. My pleasure.
Oh, great. So we'll jump right in. We've been talking about minorities, Black women in particular, in non traditional careers. And if I'm correct, you are a chemical engineer, is that right?
That is correct.
Tell us about what you do. What is it on a day to day basis? Exactly what does a chemical engineer do?
Okay. A chemical engineer has the ability to do a range of work. With your bachelor's degree in chemical engineering, you are able to go into any chemical industry that design chemical plants, refineries, pipelines, gas plants, but also you can go into technical sales, you can go into pharmaceuticals, you can go into the food industry, do research and development for anything. You can go into aerospace, so it's so diverse. But my job, specifically at the time, I worked for BP Toledo Refinery in Toledo, Ohio, and my job is a process development engineer. What that role is an engineer that has technical expertise, and they are responsible for all project management work, all process engineering and design, technical support for the refinery, and they handle any capital projects. So any process improvements that may take place on the refinery or any safety, reliability, production quality issues that arise, and we are tasked with a project that is addressing those issues.
Okay.
And so with that, I could provide my expertise on how we should go about doing it, but I also oversee and drive the project from the beginning stage, from the early engineering stage of conceptual development and appraising it to decide if it's feasible financially, is it addressing the issues, so I govern it from the very conception all the way up to execution and when it's built into the plant.
That is
awesome. I hope I didn't lose you.
No.
That was clear.
No, I was taking it all in. That is awesome. That's a lot of responsibility, but I see it as you were describing it from, like you said, from conception to execution. That's really awesome. Are there particular areas of the country or of the world that, you can expect to kind of move here, or are there areas that are more, Yeah.
Well, actually, the beauty of chemical engineering that they are not limited. You can go anywhere, any part of the world. There are refineries, and for instance, like with BP, they are a global company, so they are located all over the globe.
Wow.
Anywhere from the U.S., from North America to Africa to Malaysia to Trinidad. They have sites in Trinidad. They have sites anywhere. They really global. If you get an assignment, or if you decide to come into the oil gas industry, you're more likely to be in an area that is considered an oil and gas region.
Okay.
Like Houston is the oil and gas region. Here in Ohio, it's the oil and gas in the Midwest. So it's like it depends on what area you decide to go in, chemical engineer. And even like if you decide to do work for Nestle or Frito-Lay or even Coca-Cola, Pepsi, is no limit. Even a Goodyear, because a chemical engineer is responsible for producing the rubbers on your tires,
of course,
as well as working in pharmaceuticals and dealing with the medicines and working with researchers to design something that will heal the body. And we have many chemical engineers who decide to go back to school and go to med school and become doctors. So it's no limit to what you can do with a degree, which is one of the reasons why I selected.
Okay. So, of course, and you mentioned that it is a 4-year degree primarily, but you can go on to do more. But 4 years will secure you in the industry. Is that?
Well, actually, it's a 5-year degree.
It's a 5-year degree. Okay.
The 5-year degree is, but you can do it within 4 years if you decide to go all the way through. But the way that the educational system is set up now, the curriculum is set up now, they implemented several options or opportunities for you to do internships. So it would definitely take you the entire 5 years now.
I can understand that.
Yeah, because you have to do like at least 2 sessions of internship.
Okay.
And even if you go summer school or whatever, you would still more than likely complete the degree in the 5-year time in which it is designed for.
Okay.
And like with that, as a minimum of getting that bachelor's degree in science, that's a 5-year degree.
Okay.
You have the option to go to grad school and obtain your master as well as your doctor and do more in-depth studies. You can also choose to go, after you get your bachelor's, to go into law school and do patent law, or you can go to med school and become a doctor. So it's very flexible in that you just have to know exactly what you want to do. Okay. And what your dreams are. I'm
learning so much about just this whole thing. I did a little research on my own, but you've made it so clear about the different paths that you can take, just from this one field. So there's a lot of math and science, of course. Let me ask you, what type of preparation, what background did you have? Because I see you, of course, as a kid, like interested in science and math. So when did you know, okay, this is what I want to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of background, what type of courses did you take, even like in high school, to kind of prepare you for this?
Actually, my strong subject was mathematics and science, and mathematics was my strong point.
Okay.
I've always been fascinated with, as a child, my mom bought me a chemistry set. I fell in love with the chemistry set. I fell in love with the possibility of creating and the possibility of mixing something and it's causing a reaction. I didn't quite have an understanding that you could blend this and produce this, but I learned that through that chemistry set. I even set my rug on fire trying to mix something together, but I was so fascinated with that possibility that I could mix something together to create or produce another product.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing that sparked the like or desire for chemistry and for science. And I've always been well and performed, above average in mathematics and in science. So I knew that was my love. It wasn't until high school where I started to really do well in pre-cal and calculus. It just came so naturally easy.
Wow.
That, one of my math teachers had decided to invite one of her friends to the school, to our high school, and he was a professor at Prairie View A&M, and he also brought with him some engineering students because he was trying to recruit for the engineering department.
Okay.
And so during that time when they came over and they told us about the program, that's when my desire or when I made the choice to become a chemical engineer.
Okay.
And so prior to that, I was thinking I would be a doctor. I wanted to go to be a doctor. But I found out that you had spent so many years in school, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to graduate and make money as quickly as possible.
Sure.
So when I found out, one of the students he brought with him, Dr. Frazier, Freddie Frazier from Prairie View, he came over and spoke with us, and he brought a student who were in the chemical engineering program, and she was a female, and she spoke about how that background or that industry was very challenging because it was a male-dominant field, and it wasn't that many females. In her class at the time, I think it was like only 3 of them graduating that was female, and I immediately became intrigued and wanted to do this. I was like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. And then I did a little research in myself to determine, because all of my friends who were math giants as well wanted to do electrical engineering. I don't know what's your age, but in my age group, people had the desire of doing engineering, law, or doctor, or if they wasn't going to be doing sports.
Yeah.
So, but all of them was doing electrical engineering.
Okay.
Because that was the thing that everybody did in the Black community. That's what we heard about. We never heard about a chemical engineer. I never heard about it before that day. And so, and then everybody started jumping on the bandwagon to do computers.
Yeah.
Because the computers was coming out, so they wanted that background, and many of them, if they were involved in computers, they had to do electrical engineering. I didn't want to do that because I wasn't at all intrigued by doing anything electrical. Like, oh no, that's not me. I want to do something else. And so when she came in and she said that she was like one of few who graduated with a chemistry degree at Prairie View, and as a female, and that it was very rare for women to get that degree, he immediately said, that's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. That's volumes about you as a person. And I want to go back just a little bit and just say kudos and hats off to your mom. She bought you a chemical set, as a kid. That is so awesome. And I talk to people a lot about that, about that we're responsible to nurture what we see in our children. You know what I mean? So they just speak so much about her, that she saw that in you or saw an interest and said, hey, I'm going to,
I think I asked for it. I have to ask my sister. She remember like our childhood better than I do. I don't know why, but it's like some things I don't quite, I remember events, but I'm like, how did that happen? So I'm going to have to ask my sister exactly how that happened. I think I asked for the chemistry set.
Well, even still, she could have just, did the typical mom thing. Girl, I'm not buying you that thing. But, just the fact that that's big. That's really big, to see that and say, okay, yeah, let's, it's not the norm. There probably weren't a lot of little girls asking for that. Other girls are probably asking for, the Barbie dream house. And you're saying, hey, I think I want this because I want to see how this goes together. And so that's really, really awesome. Let me ask you this, because you said that it was we've talked about it as a predominantly male field. And even still now, I'm sure that's still pretty much the case, right?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Okay.
In our department here at VP, it's only 2 females here that's in our group.
Okay.
Previously, when I was at Bechtel, it was a handful it was a lot more at Bechtel. I worked with a lot more women there than I have in all of my career. And prior to that, I more than likely, even now, when I go into a boardroom or I go into a meeting, I probably am like one of 2 of females that's in that room.
Okay. And what about black and female in particular? How?
Oh, I'm the only one. I am actually, this is so funny. I found this out once I got here in Ohio. I am actually the only salary black female in Toledo.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That was at the beginning. We just hired on a new engineer who's a reliability and maintenance engineer, and she's a female. She's from LSU, from Southern. She went to Southern University, and she moved here from Louisiana. So she started just probably early last week.
Okay.
Prior to when I moved here in July, I was the only one.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let me ask you then, because it's a male-dominated field, one of 2 things happens. Either because you're not the norm, they're really, really nice, or you have to really kind of battle. So what's been your experience overtly, in this field? Have you had to kind of battle a little bit for your... Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you got to remember, I graduated, and I don't think we mentioned this, but I graduated in 95, December of 95.
Okay.
which is over 20. Oof, telling my age.
I don't know how that is, Sabrina, because I think I'm about 35, and I know you're somewhere a little younger than me, so I don't know how that's working out.
I wish I was 35.
I wish I was 35 too. No, I'm just kidding. We're in the same age range. Yeah, okay. You are a little younger than me, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I graduated in '95, and at that time, it was very much not diverse.
Okay.
It was very much not an accepted field for a female.
Okay.
I went directly from college into a chemical plant, and it was owned by Monsanto at the time, and now it's called Solution in Allen, Texas, right outside of Houston. And I worked at that plant, and that environment was so white male.
Okay.
Females have no place, and that was probably the hardest transformation and experience I had, and I thank God, because it could either broke me or I feel like it built me, but it could have very easily have broken me and caused me to turn my back on my career choice.
Yeah. So you have to have a tough skin for this.
Right. At that particular time, it was very hard. It was very challenging. You was always trying to prove yourself, and always at any job that a female has to stand up for her right and excel in, you do have to work hard and push back and make your place through your experience and prove that you deserve to be there and sit in that room with all the other males. And so that was very challenging. However, I have had an opportunity over my course of career to work the majority of my time with some great people.
Okay.
Right now, my experience from the last 13 years have been extraordinarily wonderful. I do encounter, and I do have situations where I still have to battle, because I'm not the traditional engineer. I don't walk around with calculators and pocket protectors and ink pens and in my in my pocket, and I don't have the glasses on. So I am not the traditional engineer. So I do encounter from time to time when people will assume that I am the assistant and not the engineer.
Right.
And I have to say, okay, no, that's not the case. I am not the secretary. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not getting coffee today, and if I do, it'll be because I want to. Yeah. Not because you sent me for it. Right. Okay.
Exactly. But now, working with, and I have to say kudos to BPE, not because I'm an employee, but I am so freaking impressed with the diversity and the acceptance of inclusion that I have experienced over these last couple of months. It has been remarkable, and especially being at a plant where it is very much male dominant, but it's white male dominant. But I have felt such a part of a family and such a part of the team like I have never felt before in my career.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, it is. So I am very much impressed. That is their core values. They want to make sure that everyone is safe and everyone is respected, that it's a diverse environment, and that we work together as one team. And I actually feel that lived out. I see it.
Yeah, it's not just on paper. They really do and try to make that happen.
Yes, and there's programs and trainings and situations that are set up and designed to break down the barriers, to make people aware of different biases that take place with race and gender, and to see how silly it is. And so, because we have gone through training to where it exposed different conscious or unconscious biases that we bring to the workplace, and how that affects us doing our job, and how it affects us for not even operating safely and making it home every day.
Yeah.
So when you work in this kind of environment where you're working in a place where that could be very much detrimental, you have to rely on the expertise of your coworkers and your peers, and even them having your back. And so you have to really cultivate and promote caring from each other, respecting each other.
Teamwork.
Yes, a
Yeah.
teamwork, and making sure that each one of us that walk through that gate and walk into that refinery walk out after our hours is done and go back to our families. And so I see that more so now here with them than I have before. So I am very much impressed with that, and haven't encountered anything other than acceptance so far. But it has not always been the case, and it's not everywhere. You don't have that kind of culture everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have one more question. So, what advice would you give to minorities, particular, black girls or black women who are interested in entering this field of study at this point? What suggestions, or the particular schools in high school, particular courses that they really need to focus on? What, if you could give them any advice, what would you say?
I would say take advantage of the culture we have developed now that is promoting technology and science, to get into those STEM programs, to attach yourself with a mentor, to learn from them and grow with them, and allow them to pull you through the ranks.
Okay.
Don't be shy. Don't feel like you don't deserve the help, or feel like, oh, I'm begging, or I'm taking hand-me-outs or something crazy like that. But learn from the generation ahead of you.
Okay.
Take those science classes, take those math classes, go to the extra tutorial, utilize YouTube. Social media is amazing.
Yeah.
Use Google, use YouTube to learn and research and develop more about what you want to do.
Okay.
And enroll and participate in those camps, in those STEM activities that are being promoted and produced by our government, locally and globally. So take advantage of that, get involved with that, partner up with sponsorship with different companies that will mentor you and help you with growing and developing. And don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to attach yourself with someone that you very much admire. If you see them, even if it's online, you don't know them, and you feel like they far reach, send a message through Messenger, through DM, and see if they'd be interested in mentoring you. That's something that we do regularly. So
okay.
I say take advantage of it and attach yourself to someone who's already doing what you want to do.
So just go for it. Just don't be afraid of it. Okay.
Don't be afraid and don't limit yourself. A lot of times we limit ourselves. We are our biggest enemies. Nothing is stopping you from obtaining what you want, and no matter how massive or great or unattainable the goal look, go for it. Because you'll be surprised. It's closer to your fingertips than you believe. And you are very much capable, and you are very much able. It doesn't matter if you're growing up in a poverty area, or one who may not have the same resources as someone else that's growing up on the rich side of town. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the opportunities that are presented to you and what you have that you create and you use to your benefit, and go for it. You deserve it.
Yes.
You deserve it.
That's the biggest part. I like that. You deserve it. So, Trina, thank you so much for your time, and I'm just excited. I'm so grateful that we had this time together, and thank you for just being who you are and sharing your story. So I hope you have a really, really good day.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for reaching out and asking me, and thinking of. That's exactly it. I am always willing to lend a hand and expose our community to something different.